So back in April, I went to go see Beau is Afraid with a couple of my friends, and you know, if you guys have seen that movie's wild. But it's an A24 movie, so a lot of the trailers in that movie were other A24 films coming out. Uh, and one of the films that they showed was this amazing trailer that just captured me immediately, and I couldn't wait to go see this movie whenever it came out. And that movie was called Past Lives. And it's just in a 2 minute trailer, it showed just this amazing love story that, you don't quite know the dynamic of it, but it showed enough where I couldn't wait to go see it. And so I looked it up to go see the date, and it was going to come out in select theaters in June. And so I went to go see it last night, and I want to talk about it. So, Past Lives is the directorial debut of Celine Song, and it stars like three people in the entire movie. You have Nora, Hae Sung, and Arthur, and it's basically a decade spanning love story. But the thing about this one is it's not fantastical. This is not a Disney movie. The thing I loved about this movie particularly is how raw and real it was. So it takes place in South Korea. I think, like 20 years, 30 years ago. It starts off, and you have Nora and Hae Sung. The movie starts off with showing Nora and Hae Sung as kids growing up in Korea. And immediately you get this sense of love, nervousness, and just companionship with the two of them. It really shows you how much these kids have connected. Unfortunately, Nora has to move just abruptly, and it shows how Hae Sung takes this not very well. And it's just so real because it's nothing crazy. It's just these two kids growing up together. They have this really strong connection, but life happens and Nora just leaves because her family moves to America. And as the movie progresses, it just shows the audience that they're just two normal people that, fate had them move apart, but that connection always has them thinking in the back of their heads, like, how are they doing? How's Young doing? That's her actual name, and when she moves, she becomes Nora. How's Nora doing? How's Hae Sung doing? 12 years pass, and Hae Sung, I guess, is desperately trying to find Nora through social media and Facebook back in the day. And because she changed her name, I guess it appears that it's been hard to find her. Nora is this, go-getter in New York City with her family, this immigrant coming to New York to make a better life for herself. And immediately the movie shows you just how much she's a hard worker. She wants these prizes. She wants a Nobel Prize when she's younger. Then 10 years goes by, she wants a Pulitzer. She just wants these things in life and wants to work hard. The other end, Hae Sung is just this regular stand-up guy in Korea that is living his life, but is always wanting to maybe reconnect with Nora. And this movie just, when you're watching it, at least for me, it makes you think about past people that you've been connected with in your life, past loves, past flings, just, mistakes. This movie is so real in how it portrays. You can have people in your life or a person in this time period of your life, and it feels so good, it feels so connected, feels right. Some external things that aren't even in your control sometimes can pull you away, and life just starts over, carries on, or that chapter with that person or people ends. But you can sometimes always have these thoughts of a what if? What would my life be like if I stayed with so and so? If I did this? And in Past Lives, it really conveys. There's a saying in the movie, I hope I'm not butchering it. It's Inyeon. It's this Korean saying where, like, if you brush up against someone. I think, or you're close to someone, you have this past lives of intimacy, of connection, something like that. In this movie, the whole message is, yeah, Nora had to leave to move to New York and Hae Sung stayed, but their connection was so close that their past lives, they stayed together. This is part of their past lives where they're meant for each other, but in this reality, something happened where they're always thinking of each other. They're always, contemplating what would have happened. But in this one, Nora moved, married another guy. Shout out to Arthur, fellow white guy. But that love for him is still there. For Arthur, obviously, she has her life with him, and it seems fine. But when Hae Sung keeps appearing like every 10, 12 years just to catch up, it's showing her what could have been. These two people had such a strong connection that it seems like forever. They may go decades without seeing each other, talking with each other, but that inyan, that connection will always be there, and the what ifs. And so how this movie portrays the rawness and realness of how all of us have certain examples of this, where, yeah, we may be with the love of our lives, but maybe there was someone else, or not even romantic, just maybe just a relationship, a friendship that may not be anymore. But whether it's decades or years of you guys not communicating, you may always be thinking of them and what would our lives be like. And the way this movie ends, there's a lot of slow, sometimes awkward, but purposeful silence in this movie where it's just two characters staring at each other. And it comes off as like they're mesmerized by each other, how much they've grown up because of how long it's been since they've seen each other. But also they're staring into each other and they're both thinking, what if this was still our reality? What if we grew up together? What if, Nora didn't leave? And the way this movie portrays it is just so beautiful and heartbreaking, because the movie ends, spoilers, the movie ends with just them having a great time together again, catching up, nothing physical, nothing sexual, nothing crazy. It's just, Nora's married with her husband and they go out to get drinks with Hae Sung. You can tell Arthur's a little nervous because he senses the connection, but in this monologue between Hae Sung and Nora, while they're speaking Korean with each other, it's just this flow of like, we picked this up again. It never, it's still there. But also the reality of you can't just pick up your life and leave. This isn't some Disney movie. This isn't some fantastical, make-believe story where this woman's been married, has a life, but then the old lover comes back and, oh, okay, I'll just disappear off in the sunset. She has love for her husband, but there's also that regret that is showcased at the end of the movie where she can't necessarily be with Hae Sung right now, if ever. But these glimpses, whenever they get together again, finally makes her break and wonder, was that my soulmate? Is that the one I was supposed to be with? And maybe my aspirations, my external life out of my control took me away from that. And in this life, I won't be able to experience that. But then Hae Sung ends his time with Nora saying, see you again, and see you then in another life, or possibly again in this life. And man, in a year full of great movies so far, I'll say, but a lot of, the similar, superhero action movies, all that stuff. When these movies, these romantic movies come along, there's something special about when one is just as powerful and raw as Past Lives. I gotta say, it's one of the most real, heartbreaking films I think I've ever seen, because it's just nothing over the top, nothing crazy. I just watched What Women Want a couple days ago with Mel Gibson and Helen Hunt. That's a rom-com. That's, they get the girl at the end, blah blah blah, happy ending. This movie, Past Lives, is one of those films where there isn't necessarily a happy ending, because that's life. Our choices lead us certain places, and sometimes all we have are the what ifs, what could have been. So, Past Lives, directed by Celine Song, amazing film. Please go out and see it. And yeah, this is one I'll be thinking about for a while. All right. Guys, if you like this video, leave a like and subscribe. Leave a comment. What's your favorite romantic movie you've seen? It could be a rom-com. It could be a serious movie. Let me know. But anyway, I'll see you in the next one. Later.